My job is to make college easier because
I see you discovered the brilliance that is Partners, the games afoot.
I feel like now we have a little bit more proper music at this point, just the title screen theme, because endgame time at this point.
But, we were just in the other call just having like a chill conversation. It started with Warbot realized how old he was because of ED. As it went, hey, like, welcome to my side, Warbot, because I told Warbot that ED's first console was a Wii, which was in 2006. We were both 14 at the time when he was when he had the Wii.
Yeah, that feels like it. So, just some house cleaning stuff. So one thing, I did switch the streams now back to 720p instead of 1080, because I think stream at 1080 has been causing issues, and for affiliates, from what I keep seeing, like, they prioritize 1080p to partners instead of affiliates, so maybe that'll help with some of the, like, the, you know, footage coming in. Also, you guys tend to get more quality options at 720p, so that helps out on that. And it's going to be a 3-parter, so it's going to be tonight, Friday, and either Sunday or Saturday, depending on when Tevi's streaming kind of deal. Well, I think beyond that, but the game is ending this weekend at this point.
I want thoughts in the chat. I want thoughts and opinions. Going into case 5. Come on, chat. Type them out. We got a minute and 30 seconds.
Okay, some of my stuff over here is not on. What the heck? Okay, hold on. I'm going to put the ominous title screen back on while I get this fixed up.
This was a song that played in all the trailers.
Oh god. I mean, it's not that much of a spoiler considering it is just it is kind of a redone Sherlock theme, but I get it.
I think music. Well, like the thing about, I feel like music spoilers are interesting because I think that is definitely from person to person.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard, especially for like games and movies. I think it's really hard to listen to music track and get spoiled on something. The only way you get spoiled on something is if you listen to the you read the track title.
Yeah. Unless it's like a version of a character feed that's like sad or something like that, because that usually indicates character death kind of deal or something like that. I would say you definitely get more context by songs. My go-to example on that is always Rivers in the Desert, because listening to it first, like, yeah, it's a good song. Listening to it in context, holy shit, kind of deal.
Like, this track is called Partners, considering considering when it gets played, it's like, oh shit.
All right.
Pat, is sound playing over Discord?
Yeah, hold on. That's because I've been having the other game playing now, so let me turn the Elgato back on. Now you guys should be able to hear it. There we go.
Okay.
Alright, because I wanted to play Partners during that bit, but
yeah, I'm hearing stuff,
yeah, okay, sound is synced up, we're good. Okay, alright. So, yeah, this is just the trial from case 5, from the last case carrying on to here, so it's gonna be a long one. Let's get into it.
Go!
Final chapter. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Do we get a Novikatoma talk? Alright.
We're jumping straight in.
Alright. Oh shit.
New song though.
So, the time has finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on you for support more than ever today, Miss Susato. Miss Susato?
Ah! Oh no! What's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, you threw me. That's the first problem. Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shall lend you down. I shall let you down. Fuck!
Would you mind helping me up on my feet, then? Huh?
Oh dear, I'm really sorry.
Throw me like one of those all jealouses today. Sato-san isn't her usual self at all. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose.
Listen, Ryunosuke, you should have read the animation. She clearly had the counter ready.
She just found out that her father is a partner of the world-famous detective, not to mention...
Good morning, sir.
Lord Von Zieks! Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. Also, how is audio, guys, in chat? Like, do I need to lower anything or stuff like that? I should probably ask that. Well,
audio check!
Yeah. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday.
Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Good point. The Reaper. I suppose in hindsight, I should never allow that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my Tenect apprentice of that synonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all of this.
But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zieks.
It's only because serious crime of the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it?
Are they trying to cancel Lord Von Zieks? That's a clip into my head. Is he going through the process of getting canceled and we have to stop it? Is that what's happening?
Tell that to Twitter.
To be frank, I'm not so sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really a ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that ever-killer, Clint's restlessness soul, the spirit returned as some kind of demigod, to wield the deadly blade of justice where I, by the dint of law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. When I lost to him, I felt as though I had lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was oblivious extremely important to you. Lord Clint Van Zieks.
Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes. That burning desire to cut through all lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you. Now tell me, why do I deduct the scent of an expensive tea leaves in the air?
Hello.
Oh, Iris! When did you get here?
Where her scent is so strong that he doesn't even have to turn around.
It breaks through the dead of night.
She's just right behind him. Just
he just took a whiff. He just goes, Why is there expensive tea leaves in here?
Oh,
Who's been smoking?
I brought you one of my special blends. Harley loves it. It said it helps clear his head.
I thank you.
Oh.
Little girl, I don't think we ever met.
That's
Seriously,
surely
who
the
are you?
first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris.
Oh.
Sort of subdued, I suppose?
I am not.
That's what a not subdued person would say.
What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Seiss' laboratory.
All right then. Good luck to the both of you. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying?
I thought you want to watch today's proceedings.
Well, I like to cheer you on, obviously. But I got lots to get ready.
Get ready? For what?
Oh, yes? Would you take this?
Isn't that one of your little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack?
Yes, it's a lucky charm. A little Hurley I made once.
Hurley? It looks a lot more like a Harley to me.
If it's for some reason you completely run out of options on the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can.
What? Pull his ears?
That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it.
I swear to God, if this causes a great deduction, I'm gonna lose my mind.
You think what we need is luck? I just sneak a peek into the courtroom, and it seems very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? Shocker!
What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I do not know. He was out all night and hasn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see.
Him and Mikatoba were getting drunk as fuck! Was Professor Mikatoba all night too, do you think, Mr. Sato?
Yes, it would seem so. I telegraphed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all.
They?
Father and Judge Dagoku, I mean.
Judge Shigoku too?
That's right. No one appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Make your way to the courtroom at once!
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie.
Yes, thanks, Iris.
And you too, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for your delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now. Lord Van Zeeks.
Lord Von Zeeks has always been a formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trusted more than anyone in the world. Now I understand what it is that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what my destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Alright, one last time! Feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives all over from all sides today.
Mr. Naruhodo, look!
Oh, fuck! Lord Strongheart?! Kazuma must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. It's that events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundation of our country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have become complicit in the jailbreak. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from the countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. Stand, and one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivalent authority.
Ah!
I'm the judge and jury.
The 6 jurors' flames just...
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process.
In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Von Zeeks. Sorry, Lord Strongheart.
You do well to get my name right.
Sorry, Lord Vortex.
That's not my name, but I also like it all the same.
But I'll roll with it.
On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Von Zeeks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact.
Oh, shit!
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session.
Should we get a different gavel mount thing? Because it's not exactly a mallet or anything like that. You're gonna break that thing.
No, this is made out of pure gold and titanium. I bet you're wondering how that works. Well, you're never going to get an explanation. The point is, it's magnificent, as is pose. For the trial of Baroque Von Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder. And it's also the reason why I took Vortex from the beginning, because I knew this was coming. I am always the judge!
Except in Japan.
Counsel for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed?
The defense is ready, my lord!
As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceeding brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. Your face? Ignoring that, there was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard.
Cosmo, please not to the judge, please.
Like, come on, you're both only able to be here in Great Britain because of him.
Look at my face. Does it look all the amount of care that I have is gone?
Yes, and that's what worries me.
You should worry about to give it a W. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice, Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories in of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abated the convict's escape. Mr. Virgil's currently recuperating at St. Siners. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing against Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. Sounds so nasty when you say it.
Welcome to my world.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be. It's entirely possible that Inspector Grayson was killed on October 31st, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. Do the dance first. Really? You really gonna do me like that? We're not proceeding until you do the dance.
Lord Strongheart, this is a trial of utmost importance. I would really like to move along here at this point.
Are you proceeding over the trial, defense?
You say you don't want an embarrassment for your country, but you want the prosecution to do a little dance.
There is no embarrassment about doing the updated autopsy report dance.
So it's only I think the prosecutors get to do. All right then.
Naruto, at least you're saving your own embarrassment.
Yeah, that's true.
While Cosmo's doing the dance. What's two? Yes, excellent. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday. And I am going to say thank you or good job. Why should I thank you for a job that you should have been doing? That time of death was 5 p.m. on November 1st. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Frenzel Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Grayson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities? Scotland Yard put an enormous effort to investigating that precise matter yesterday. They assigned 2 whole people. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls his first witness now!
Hey,
I
Jaina.
don't wanna.
State your name and occupation for the court, please.
Inspector Gina Lestrade reporting, representative of Scotland Yard.
A self-conferred rank. But never mind.
Jaina, again?
What's your problem, Odie? What's with that Gina again? Look,
Ah!
the boss means the world to me. And done more than anyone's ever else did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out back of the Slum East End and took me under his wing. Taught me all life I can't have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking to her. Oh, Gina.
Right. All of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had an arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes. No!
What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling.
That face. Lord Strongheart knew!
So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report.
Coming right up, sir.
Alrighty.
All yard detectives are supposed to be following orders of investigating what they were told. But a little search in the boss's office turned up a notebook and had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggling good dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't on it yet. What matters most is, there were witnesses who saw the Reaper at the place too.
Smuggled goods?
Anime figures! Anime figures everywhere!
You know how many imported copies of this game came out before the actual game?
Play Asia receipts everywhere, my man!
I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book!
Tobacco, tea, spices, medicine, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place at the capital. But the police are really able to locate them in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets?
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson would try to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where his dealings were to take place at this time?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London Gentlemen's Club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be! We haven't heard anything about this!
Members of the club have testified to...
Now what?
He called the Gentlemen's Club up. I said, let's be honest, they went to a strip club.
Yeah, that's what a gentleman's club is.
Was being put in my head on Lord Vanzing's going to a strip club and being like, I don't know what to do with this.
This lady is not as fine as the hollow chalice that I hold in my hand.
I would literally rather be drinking out of a hollow chalice than watching
Please
this.
tell me that's the reason why you slammed your legs on the desk or not.
I have a lot of practice, okay?
Oh, God.
Just gotta let I think the less that we know about Lord Munzix, the faster we can get through this trial.
He's a bit freaky in his off time, don't you know?
Finish the statement, Cosmos. Just finish it.
Just go on.
There's no question the accused, Baruch von Zeeks, was present. That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh, my... Lord Van seems to know much of this at all. The
You know what,
is
Ace?
stuck in my
You know what, Ace? That's a good point. Lloyd Magazine goes for the alcohol. I don't care.
I can see that. I can see that.
I don't care for the show, but the bar is wonderful.
He just sits at the bar with his phone and doesn't do anything else.
The bartender makes it exactly how I like it.
It's the fucking bartender from Catherine, I swear to God.
Oh.
I'm gonna say it's a bartender from Valhalla. You play that.
that could be that too, yeah.
In short, Lord Von Zinks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
How does it make that loud of a sound? I feel like hitting that down wouldn't really make any kind of a sound like a...
It's technically metal. So...
Well, I mean, it would just make like a... Like that, kind of.
No, Patrick, that's the sound of his authority.
His willpower is going through that.
Yeah, you're not hearing the sound of metal, you hear the sound of authority. If authority, he figured out a way to give authority sound.
That's supposed to be a... So, you followed orders, do you, Gina?
Nah, not me. I'm above all and all, you see.
Oh.
Right in front of the Chief Justice. Big
Oh my
Gina.
God, Gina.
The boss always had special orders for me. Grab some fish and chips. Go and give Toby a grub. That kind of thing.
So, errands more than orders, then.
This detective is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one sitting around and wait to be told to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigation, which what happened. I didn't find much at first.
So, you're a glorified intern, is what you are, Gina, alright.
Shut up.
So, you went through Inspector Gregson's things?
Yep, as part of the old independent Lestrade investigation.
I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative.
And DGS, for whatever reason, gets another sequel. Like Gina older as a detective would be fantastic.
Well, I was gonna bring this up at the end, but there is the thing from the Capcom survey when this game came out that did state if there were any more titles in the Great Ace Attorney, would you purchase them, kind of deal, so...
Oh
maybe.
yeah, I do remember that. I remember that. I remember clicking on yes in a heartbeat. I want Ace Attorney to continue, please.
Like, I mean, I've said it for a few times, but I think the way to go for Ace Attorney is just anthology kind of deal of just, I don't need necessarily another Great Ace Attorney, but if they just want to keep doing 3 games like series sort of deal with just new cast each time sort of deal, I'm down for that sort of deal with just, they're all separated from each other but take place in the same universe kind of deal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I snuck into the office no one else was about. Because if anybody at the yard is going to see me going in there, they have to turn me straight out on the streets.
This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else.
The prosecution understands that it was his very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and your true assistant Chief Inspector Toby. I can't bring the dog in court, god dang it.
Come on!
We found it hidden in one of the desk drawers in the false bottom. Hey!
That's impressive.
Actually, Ace, that is a good point. Great Ace Attorney does open up now the possibility of having Ace Attorney games just set in different time periods. Like we can, like,
yeah,
we can very much have one that could take place during the French Revolution.
That space game is happening, boys.
We can actually have American Ace Attorney?
It's just Judge Judy, but not as entertaining.
Oh, dang. So then I went in myself, nobody could find me, so I had a bunch of what was written in it. Because nobody at the yard found me out. They had to turn me straight out of the street. I give it now, though, ain't I? If it weren't for me, I would have been found.
Do you have any idea what those dealings were taking place?
Yep. It was all in the boss's notes. Ah! Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club.
Yes, I remember. But I was hoping to find out the name of the club.
That won't be necessary.
What?
I'm keeping you pure, boy. It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future.
Kazuma, I've been through your bag while we were on this ship back. You are not pure by any means, and you can't stop.
I never claimed to be pure. I'm trying to keep you pure.
What are you two doing on the ship?
We'll talk to later,
That is-
Susanoo.
Susanoo, men talks.
Keep your men's talk out of court!
You're all gay lawyers this and gay lawyers that, but when it actually comes on, you don't want it at all. Alright, fine.
People are all about the gay lawyers, but when they actually turn on the gay, they want us to shut up.
Susanoo is eternally screaming on the screen.
Bisexually screaming.
So I was like, I don't know how comfortable with this I am anymore. I'll read it again. It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name of these proceedings.
I don't know what the fuss all's about. It's right here. All I gotta do is read it out loud. And I could now. I got the reading gate button up now. Can I show you what I can do? Go on. Work of what's the arm? Hey.
The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try and find out. What should I do? Insist, of course. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked.
As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Bro.
Kazuma?
There's
Oh,
no...
so now that it upsets you, you're actually going on, huh?
Yes! Petty Kazuma is great Kazuma. It's just like it's my Kazuma.
I love how all the dialogue just lends itself to our petty version of Kazuma kind of deal.
Yeah, well, like when Kazuma is truly petty within the game itself is great because he's just like, oh, because it's just so slight.
Yeah.
There's no question that Inspector Grayson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it has not yet been established that he was on that particular trial on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Bruh. Really?
Right then. I get to show it off. My rating skills.
Inspector notes a reading rainbow.
Apparently the smugglers go to... Oh god. Ah!
What?
I lost my screen.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Apparently the smuggler was supposed to go to a gentleman club called the...
Groose?
Play the music! Play the music! Play the music!
Ba ba da ba ba.
Ba ba da da da.
The Groose. What sort of club is that?
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, how about you and I catch a movie later on?
I ain't got the fuckiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing.
Good speaker.
But I ain't kinda curious.
Chiba, no.
No.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted.
Have you looked in the mirror recently?
I'll tell you what. Me and Chief Inspector Comey could go undercover.
Could you though?
I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could do to find out what was in there.
I would love to see Toby trying to like little dog Toby, trying to investigate his way for his strip club.
It's just the Mother 3 disguise where he just dressed him up in a trench coat.
Perfect. They'll never know.
They'll never find me there.
No, it's one of those where it's Gina and Toby like in one trench coat, but they have Toby be the head kind of deal. Foolproof plan. No one will find out. I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower ranking detectives at the yard reckon.
Says the even lower ranking detective. Brandon, for Metroid Dread, it's really, 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 really good. Go buy it, please. Do it now.
Go buy it. Go buy it. It's a great. It's a great game, and on track to be my game of the year.
So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case?
That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just the apprentice, so...
And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking myself, cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice.
When it suits you, yes.
Anyway, the point is, something went in that club, no question.
You can't just say for certain, though, Shirley.
Am I bluffing?
We'll find out. Lord Von Zeeks was at the club?
He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members reported. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest.
Looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zeeks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he's already discovered the Inspector's secret notebook?
Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe? Presumably, then, there's also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there?
None have been identified at this time, no.
God damn it! So, the all-important victim was seen at this mysterious club.
Oi! Why ain't asking Inspector Lestrada here, eh? I'm right here! Notice me!
So that's the thing, all I got to work with. Gina's not holding back with the ice-cold stare of hers, is she?
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Lord Von Zeeks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
I don't think Lord Van Zeeks could be lying to us, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this.
Oh?
If everything Lord Von Zeeks told us is true, then there may be a mistake in this testimony somewhere.
You mean, there's details we have yet to uncover?
Exactly. A clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what I should be looking for here. Okay, probably the notebook, because she can't read properly? That would be my first guess. Oh wait, we don't have it, shit.
Actually, just to direct you, go check one of your first pieces of stuff that you got, because this could be easily missed. To your right.
Oh wait, that was a live introduction. Is this my song?
Have you ever inspected the letter?
Good.
Oh? Looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Groose, first class cabin, 101. Yucatara departure, the 11th of September. London's arrival, the 1st of November.
Ah, that's about the Professor Mikotoba and Judge Shidoku came from Japan, isn't it?
Oh.
But
Yes, I think it's called the Durkin in the north coast of France for the night before arriving in Dover.
I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Bureau. Seems a shame not enough to keep your ticket as a memento as your trip, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary.
Yeah, I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, that's strange. Where could it have gone?
Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo?
Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh?
I mean, you already have the answer.
Yeah, so I think it's gotta be on that one, probably, but...
Awesome, you made a new save file.
Oh. I think just instinct, because I've been playing a lot of D5 Royal and just instinctively going down, you know, one save file and stuff like that, so... Oh wait, fine, oh god!
Yo, you want to talk about my neat detective skills? Let's go!
Oh, I'm a detective! Yeah, I'm a detective, bro. It's neat. You want to see my badge?
I can show you mine. It's pretty neat.
No, I don't care about your badge.
Accidentally
Care about
presents
my
the
badge.
badge. No, wait.
I've read about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues.
Well, that's what we call them. Yo, is that what we're calling them now?
Socializing and greeting, yes.
Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you, like you would be admitted.
Seriously, is that mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Groose?
The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet.
Ben takes the curl like, ha!
And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the police inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on the 31st of October may not have been the gentleman's club at all.
You're showing a very irrelevant, is that?
Irreverent? What?
No, not
Irreverent.
That, no, I know, the word after that, is that two L's?
Attitude.
Okay, I couldn't tell. No, on my screen, the little flashes where it didn't show up.
Okay.
So it just looks like altitude. And I was like, huh?
Wait, what?
Wait, that's a new word.
Hmm?
You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force and council. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it?
A steamship.
You think it's a ship?
I have the evidence to prove it right here!
Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy.
The other side, my lord.
Be more specific next time! This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Groose.
Objection.
Look at those boots. So there's a steamship named the Groose that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say, there's a flaw in your logic there.
How?
Look at the ticket. Notice the date of arrival in port? The ship arrived at the port of Dover on November 1st. Ah! The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Frinzel Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on a clandestine mission. That ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging.
The fact that the steamship hadn't reached Britain substantiates the defense assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Gruce on the day in question.
Then show your evidence for that assertion.
Very well.
Oh shit.
In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. You know my name. We talked before this. The counsel for the defense. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Gruce on the 31st of October.
Was it something on... No, wait, this was the... No, this was the fake one.
Yeah. I think it's one of your earlier evidence, like your later evidence. Wait, no.
Oh, wait. Was it something in here? I think it was. Look, there's something inside.
Ooh, let's see. It appears to be a passport
Yeah, it's a
authorizing
passport.
travel.
Yeah, because I remember we talked about this.
Oh!
What is it?
It was traveled for the 31st of October, just one day before the incident.
What? Really?
There we go.
Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered.
Take that!
It's proven by this evidence right here!
That is a trunk, ma'am, sir.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a separate evidence.
No, I'm gonna say, no, somebody take a screenshot, a screen cap of that. It really looks like he's looking at his, it looks like he heard that he decided to check Twitter.
If I get it wrong.
Fair, that happened to me too. Just the trunk. Naruto, that's the trunk.
Fuck.
Yes,
No, it's what's in the trunk.
In the trunk. I don't care about what's in the
Fuck.
trunk. You just presented a trunk to me. What am I supposed to do with this? Put stuff in it? You mean like this L?
Ow!
What's this? What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim. Dated 31st October. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that just one day before the inspector's body was discovered, there was a distinct possibility he wasn't even in the country!
Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized.
The day before the SS Gruce arrived in the Dover, it was docked at the northern coast of France for a night.
According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Durkin.
Durkin, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? Oh, I'm impressed, Ryunosuke. No, hold on.
Oh no, he's kidding, Susanoo. I don't like this at all. Fuck.
Oh, man. I just love you. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport.
What? You mean you knew about this?
The prosecutor's strategy for this trial has been laid down by the crown prosecution office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigation and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecution's office is trying to hide something.
What?
And now that you've expertly disproven that, Sergeant, I intend to reveal what I believe that's something to be. Thank you. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Osogi? A courtroom is a form of the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamboat docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper!
The Reaper?
What did I get myself into?
Oh boy.
Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, Counsel? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Bibbidi blah, bibbidi blah blah blah,
They're a
bibbidi
Reaper.
blah, bibbidi blah. Yo, England could suck it. I said the exact words exactly as I stated. But in reality, the truth is the opposite of that.
What?
Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper.
So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was...
Obviously, an assassination. Baron Van Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that's what Inspector Gregson?
Hold it! What are you trying to say you're saying, eh? My boss would never do nothing like that.
Little girl, sit down and shut up. You don't know, Daddy. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense.
Who are you dadding who? It can't be.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You have to have a dad first, and you just lost 2 of them.
I don't know how to respond to that, Mr. Sato. Like,
Gina's 0-2 for dads right now.
His prosecutor music just stops.
Did you hear the record scratch? Everyone in court just went.
So,
That was.
Susato, should he really be saying that when, his father was the professor?
This boy's about to get a good stern talking after this trial.
Hey, can you give him one of those patented Susato tosses?
This prosecution power is getting to his head.
Boy. Ooh, wow. Wow, it's okay. Wow. Whew.
We also arrived to the same conclusion, didn't we? The actual thing.
Yeah.
This sidebar concept, I just went. Should we have a talk with him? I think that we should really just sit him down and just be like, yo, bro, chill.
Oh, boy.
And Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper.
Even so, there's no way the person giving him his orders was Lord Von Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is someone else. Barrack Von Zeeks is not the Reaper!
A predictable response for someone who's advocating for the man.
And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Gru on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all.
I thought you were on my side, Naruhodo.
You have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel?
Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard the steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jugoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm sure we would have heard about it. What's so funny?
You.
Naruhodo just gives him the face.
You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship.
I think at this point, Sato, I've just learned not to give him a response at all. You know, I think he'll stop at that point.
But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life.
What?
Gregson did board the SS Grus that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure.
Failure?
It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here.
What are you talking about? What detail?
Inspector Gina Lestrade.
What?
The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier. That doesn't contain details of a secret investigation at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey.
You're lying! Even if all the bloody work got taken out and coming to them, the boss weren't for... Poor Gina.
There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors.
I ain't heard nothing. I don't believe a word of it.
Then testify again, as representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss.
I don't...
I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. Tell me why Daddy didn't do it.
Shut the fuck up.
You stupid ass bitch.
Yeah, the notebook has a load of stuff in what the Reapers got up in the past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff, and the last entry was the 31st of October. It said Grus for the place of that date, and then the name of the mark. There was a note about being a criminal what got away from the Reap of the court 10 years ago or something. But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. It was just investigating the Reaper, that's all.
Keep personal opinions out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here.
This must be so hard for her.
You can't deny it now, surely, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What can't I deny?
The notebook contained the name of the final mark and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if he was working with the Reaper.
Ah.
So, who was to be this final mark? Go ahead, Inspector. Read the name for the court. The name the name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the Groose on 31st October.
Oh, how do you read this then?
Reading's still not his strong suit.
That ain't the problem, alright, Odie? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read.
So it's something from overseas?
Let me have a bash at it. Rogue, is it? Yeah, Seshiro.
Ah, shit.
Jigo you? Maybe?
What? It can't be Seshiro Jigoku?
But that's Judge Goku.
Seshiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right.
But that can't be right! I know Judge Jigoku! I only saw him before yesterday! Here in London! So I know for a fact the man hasn't been assassinated!
As I said, the Reaper failed.
Oh.
Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake. So he killed the Inspector personally. The Reaper, of course, being the accused. Baruch von Zeeks. It's an undeniably logical argument.
Kazuma, you planned this trial to go this way all along, didn't you?
Hold it!
Ah, shit, he's back.
With the chassis!
Ah!
Front view leg!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of fouling thy holy chalice while I stand accused of murder. But Lord Von Zeeks?
The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You will return to your little dock over there. Go on, scoot.
I say nothing whether I'm the Reaper. That task is for the court to decide. But there's one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective.
That's right. I'm an inspector.
Repeating rumors heard around the yard, reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony, it's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you clearly planned. Your hatred of mine is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. But you're in danger of becoming far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony.
What did you say?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance.
My lord, the defense requests that the defendant is allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information relating to the testimony just given by the witness.
Oh shit.
Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination.
Then allow me to toast to the court impartially.
Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately.
At once, my lord! Okay, so this is gonna be an interesting one. He's considering him like...
Hold it!
In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper.
No at all. It ain't the only explanation, is it? It could have been investigating the Reaper in secret. The notebook said what found out.
If I may, When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believed the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper.
One arm? What are you on about?
The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them alone. The Reaper is an organization.
With you as its head?
I had spies at the yard working for me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I've been able to check the most recent entry of his book. I knew the location. You knew it was the Grooves? Believing it to be reference to the Gentleman's Club, I went there on the day in question to investigate, alone.
Ah, so that explains why several members of the club claim to have seen you there.
But of course, the inspector was not there.
But the bar was excellent.
It was very nice.
Because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France. As shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook.
Huh. Fine. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago.
Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I?
Hold it!
The true danger of an ace attorney. Am I overthinking it or underthinking?
Exactly. Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff? What in particular?
Well, besides the victims' names, the other names kept cropping up.
What other names was that?
It's the ones I told you yesterday. The same names written over and over again.
You mean... Azashin?
Yeah, that's the one! She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she?
Were you even listening yesterday? Azashin, the assassin.
Ha! What, like, a killer, you mean?
Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable and who to use to get them.
But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes.
Then perhaps what it said on the passport document. Permission for the accompaniment and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been...
Clearly the assassin, who was meant to take Seshiro Jigoku's life.
Gina, can you confirm that against the final entry listed Grooves and Seshiro Jigoku? What name was written?
Oh, well, that's the only entry that didn't have a name next to him, it happens.
God fucking damn it!
It's just like the question mark or something here, I think.
In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case.
But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not?
Oh, how infuriating.
Nameless assassin?
Hold it!
And you're saying that the mark listed was Seshiro Jigoku?
It's what I said. Funny name if you ask me.
Hey, I thought your name was odd.
So pleased to have lost my crown there.
Mr. Jigoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court law. That's easier to say. Law. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago.
Studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Strongheart.
That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say.
So Lord Strongheart was Judge Goku's mentor.
If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, after that fateful case.
Precisely. In the aftermath of the professor case, his
Repartation?
His repetition was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook.
I didn't think it was possible, but the mood in here got even worse. Maybe I'll just keep talking.
Hold it!
What do you mean, a criminal? Judge Goku was no criminal!
Well, don't ask me. I know nothing about it.
Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Ikoku did once appear in court here in Britain. He was related to the professor case, I'm sure.
Yes, of course, you're right!
He slammed a table.
It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens. You did? It was considered to be an adjustment to the professor's proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make a reputation for the damage caused to the stand.
And there you have it.
Have what?
Surely the accused had to forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper court, guilty or innocent alike.
What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Goku was targeted for assassination?
The man was sent back to Japan immediately after that trial. The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more.
Yeah, just gonna quickly do an Ogata reset. There we go.
Was there an issue?
It seemed like it was just like a little bit off, but yeah, we're good now.
Okay. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is.
Okay, can we pause here for a bit? Are
Yeah.
you suggesting that the Reaper killed him for the fact that he smashed a table?
Kazuma, seriously. The fuck, man?
That table was made out of mahogany! The Reaper loves mahogany tables! The fact that he smashed the mahogany table could not stand!
Well, maybe it was just a bad table then at that point if it got smashed. I mean, come on.
You're a bad table!
Wait, what?
Kazuma? What does that even mean?
Baroque Vazix is a Reaper, I stand by my statement.
Let's just... God, that's absurd to take someone's life for that!
It is the whole premise of the Reaper's absurd, killing those who have been found innocent. Clearly, the rule by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension.
But...
A table.
Right! I had just enough of this!
Gina?
All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people. It's coppers! Come on,
Yes?
Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection or something?
What?
You gotta find a flaw. You usually do. Someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work it out who it is. Please, for the boss.
That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket for the back slums couldn't make a detective.
Okay, I know this might be ruining the seats of motion and stuff like that, but if you guys want to take a picture of this right now.
Yeah,
later,
just take it. Swap it out for a phone.
Take it out. I want him looking at his phone for this to Photoshop it out. Kind of deal.
Thank you, Pat. Thanks a lot.
But okay, I'm just gonna get out of the way now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're back!
When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear?
I had enough with the lot of you! With the lies of blame place looking the word ain't! I had enough! Gina.
So have I. I've had a little speech with Gina. My mind is made up.
To do what, Mr. Naruhodo?
There's one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't cite right with me. One statement that seemed odd.
Oh, do you mean?
I'm gonna let Gina's plea for help fall. I'm not gonna let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. It was that first one. Yeah, the Sunbook had lots of stuff with the Reaper Pass.
I think you have to press the last statement.
Okay, you do have to press it. Okay.
Hold it!
I want to thank you, Gina.
Real quick, I do like to queue up for this track in particular.
Yeah. You helped me find my resolve.
What do you mean?
Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency.
What? An inconsistency?
Really, Hody?
Don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's one inconsistency that something was said by... Okay, it would have to be Gina or... I wanna say...
Did you make another save file?
No,
I
no.
wasn't looking.
I thought I saved on the same one, kind of deal.
I just thought someone just went, hang on. The fourth one's new.
God. I think it was...
Take that!
Of course, by you, Lord Von Zeeks. Me? What? Your face has turned ashen. How could he know? Is that what you're thinking?
How could he have known?
If my face turned ashen, it's because I'm thinking, how could he?
I don't know where you're going with this, but maybe the evidence you're obviously about to show the court will clarify. In that case, the defense will present evidence to substantiate its claim. To which piece of evidence does this alleged inconsistency relate?
Well, show it.
I don't know where we're going on this one. I don't even know what the statement we're talking about is.
Oh dear.
Oh god, I don't...
I didn't expect we go this far.
Yeah, and what did he say? Oh no.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
When in doubt and you went out options, story mode.
Oh dear.
It's the betting slip.
Take that!
The trunk!
I was right the first time! I had hoped not to present this evidence, but you leave me no choice. What do you have to say to this, Lord Von Zeeks?
The trunk!
Your feelings were correct. Presenting that evidence was a mistake. I suggest you withdraw it. Sorry?
Good advice. Because you turned decidedly ashen.
I only hope the Reaper doesn't hold that against you. Fingers crossed.
I think this line of argument has run its course. I suggest you learn from your mistakes before you make a fatal one in the eyes of the Reaper.
I better listen very carefully to the testimony again. Damn it, that was not
I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
Wow.
Wow.
Good thing they don't mark it against you.
Yeah, I'm glad on that one, but...
Okay, before you say
wait. Actually, before you save it, I recommend
recommend
No,
pressing that first statement again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just read it again to re-familiarize.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's Sogi then, at that point. Where are you? There you are.
Take that!
Yeah, Jason?
Not mine.
Oh, okay. By you, Kazuma Sogi!
Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering counsel? Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting? What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent?
You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I presented the relevant evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done.
Very well then, counsel. Go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Asogi has said? So, my initial impressions were correct. This is nonsense.
Wait, what the fuck? Wasn't that what he presented? What?
You accuse your best friend and back it up with that? Clearly. The real Oscar Nominata I knew is dead!
Struck down by my best friend.
I believe what he tended to point out, Mr. Naruhodo, was when Kazuma said,
Yes, that's exactly it.
I take it for your expression that you're not going to let this go.
Correct, my lord. I made a mistake, that's all.
I appreciate they showed the statement again.
No,
Okay, it is the chest. It is the chest at this point. Fuck.
You got the evidence correct the first time. You just said the wrong person. I can't believe it.
Fucking striking out this much. God.
Wrong person, right evidence.
the right person, wrong evidence.
Yeah, you reversed it.
This!
Wait, Zeke, look at this trunk! I bet your face is really turned into ash now! Ooh, this trunk really makes you angry, doesn't it? It was you with this trunk!
The fact that you showed the trunk to Stronghart earlier as well instead of the passport.
This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson.
A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? A bloodstain. And a relatively fresh one, too.
What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Oh.
Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests the victim was traveling with luggage when he was killed.
That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in the Scarlet Yard's report.
Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after inspecting the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it.
But I found it. Me and me nose for trouble. Don't you dare disrespect Toby.
Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk?
We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport?
But you knew it was a metal trunk! Answer me honestly, Kazuma! On the 31st of October, where exactly were you?
At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Groose. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryunosuke?
Kazuma, what are you...
Oh dear.
I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma was on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose.
Oh no, Mr. Naruto. Surely you don't think...
Come on, Ryunosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in court is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you've proven nothing.
Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it beyond all reasonable doubt? That you were that day in the same place as the inspector? He was there? With Gregson? There's a clue you overlooked. That secret trunk can tell us. Can't be sure at this point. I'll need to verify it. But I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right.
The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless, we must test it. The defense will identify for the court where in the trunk this alleged clue is to be found. Where is the evidence that ties Prosecutor Asogi to it?
You'd probably save.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, I can't save at this point, fuck! Okay, not the bloodstain.
I'll say it's not what it looks like on first inspection.
Oh, I think I know what it is. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the letter and through the metal behind.
Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whoever made that ghastly gush must have struck to the side of the code with considerable force.
Cousin was getting McDonald's and Gregson. Yo, dang it, Ace.
Fucking, don't tell me he sliced the drinking machine with Gregson.
Do you see that? There's something stuck to the side of the trunk here. It's glistening.
It looks like a fragment of metal of some sort. But it's wedged in so tightly, I can't remove it.
Don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. Is it that? At that point?
A piece of metal.
Yeah, I think it's gotta be. Because, like, I think it's that he slashed his sword into it kind of deal.
Got it!
This is your proof? What do you say to that, Prosecutor Osogi?
Well, now I can save at this
Oh,
point because I
God.
know I'm not fucking right at this point. God damn it.
Did it count the slash marks?
I feel,
Personally, I think lying.
Oh!
I think lying the defense counsel to the inspector's trunk and tossing it to the sea would be more helpful.
what?
At least that way, London's courtroom will be safe from his destructive accusations.
I believe that was a rather long-winded way of telling you that you're wrong, Mr. Naruhodo.
Very well. Then let's see if you sink or swim under the weight of this penalty, counsel.
Ah!
Mr. Naruhodo, you can't let yourself be drowned at sea yet.
I was hoping to never let that happen, funnily enough. God damn it, fucking god.
I think.
Is it the slash? Like,
It's not the slash. I think it counted the slash, not the actual metal.
what the fuck? Come on!
Make sure we have the actual metal. It's very.
Okay, go ahead.
The metal.
Tilt this so we can't see the slash.
Well, how about this? Before you present it, examine it to make sure it's talking about the right thing.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Fucking hell! Like I was saying, there's a small piece of metal lodged into the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade.
I was pointing here
God
at
damn
this,
it, that was not
not
worth a
that.
fucking penalty,
But you
Judge.
presented this to the court. I was presenting this
Your
to the
perspective made it look like I was looking at the slash, but I was pointing at the metal too. God damn it!
court. Your finger was shifted slightly to the left, counsel.
I have no words to say that. That was actually legit bullshit.
God.
A blade?
Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Kurama.
Of course it is.
Won't you draw it here in this courtroom for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer.
Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk. That won't be necessary.
Oh dear.
Oh no!
The tip is broken. If the fragment of the metal from the trunk fits with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with the Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed. Kazuma Asogi!
Actually done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you, and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi? Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission.
So the additional person authorized to travel
was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark.
What? What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku?
Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk. But I never had any intention of carrying out the plan.
You were never going to do it?
You can't believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London for the following day.
On the 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the Channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Groose and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan.
You went to Judge Jigoku's cabin.
Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but
you already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway.
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning.
Actually, be an ass and leave. Beautiful.
A boarding house in Dunkirk?
My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the Mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson... it's still me. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Frizzle Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger and end his wretched agent's life. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder!
Objection!
But you did nothing as you claim. How did the tip of the sword become lodged in the inspector's trunk?
I don't need to answer that. The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade is irrelevant to the case. And accordingly, I chose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord. We must take immediate action now to verify whether sensual Jigoku remains unharmed.
What? Remains unharmed?
I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday.
How did you...
When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours. It's only natural that the question of his safety should arise.
You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku has been killed?
The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal. He has the power and influence to give orders from the inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Von Zeeks?
If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you.
Order! Order in court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes.
Now?
Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with their organizer's office. If the man cannot be located within half an hour, we will have to assume the worst.
Oh no, not Judge Goku.
No one will want to kill a harmless Japanese man who only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper wanted to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. I will have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake.
My lord?
I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties.
Oh dear.
Court is adjourned for 30 minutes!
Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I might be in a nightmare.
I can hardly believe it either. But on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories.
I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, then I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control.
I felt it from the moment I stepped in the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careening towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might have only 30 minutes left. Fortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options.
Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear.
Of course! The little Mr. Shomstall that Iris gave us!
You know you have to do it to him.
Perhaps now is the time. Which I do, wholeheartedly zealous or not. Oh! There goes nothing then, I'm gonna do it!
Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo.
No looking back. Heave! Ow!
That scream. It sounded like Mr. Sholmes.
Ow!
But, Mr. Shomms, where are you?
Here, my dear fellow, here!
It's a felt doll talking!
Pull the ear again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can.
Alright then, I'll pull with all my strength into it. Heave!
Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off!
Mr. Sholmes, where are you?
Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin of the SS Groose.
The SS Groose?
She left Dover last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. Snap back. We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour.
You taking a ship to France?
Please, please, even with my athletic prowess, I will struggle to jump the straits of Dover. Oh, my stuttering is really taking over for right now for some reason. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cabin to the station and by train to the port.
Seriously, how the fuck did Iris make this? Even with like with the technology at the time, like, dude.
Don't worry about it.
We don't even have telephones at this time. What the
Don't
fuck?
worry about it.
Ace Attorney
Steampunk, bitch.
Steampunk Ace Attorney technology in order to board this vessel in time.
So, you mean you already worked it out? That the steamship was everything were real. The steamship was where everything really took place?
Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name?
Herlock Sholmes, the world-famous detective.
Recited to perfection. Well done.
You're a genius, Mr. Shelms. The one, the only word of it.
Ow, 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 ow! Mr. Zato, gently with this genius ear, please!
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
If I may, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, there you are. There you are, Bigatoba.
You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Bruce. At Scotland Yard yesterday, when we examined that notebook, I recalled my steamship ticket.
Well, of course it was, my dear fellow. And that wasn't, and that was did I controvert that fact. I merely had a court-bound companions under my name.
Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now.
And if you're unable to spread any new leads, then I'm afraid to say.
Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. That would be wonderful.
Until later, then.
Yes, you'll be hearing from us if you're not in touch first.
Ow, 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 ow! I shan't be hearing anything you keep tugging my ear in this mindless fashion.
Whatever was the idea of making the receiver operated in that way in the first place, Mr. Sholmes?
Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine.
10-year-olds in the late 90s be like.
Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of our hour, Mr. Sholmes, we have but half now before Gross puts to sea again. If we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in ups before long.
There are times, Bigatoba, but you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin.
Is this like proper investigation at this point? First class cabin number 2. Yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crew standing before the door is an angry-looking fellow.
It's the same model for the first game,
It's
except
just
now you have
different
different hair. Why you are loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize World Traveling Great Sailor? Tishkin Stunogodov, when you see?
Sholmes, what did you do to that poor man's arm? What did you do?
Great detective! Ha! I don't think so! Do you see that, Mikatoma? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine.
Goodness me, is that a tattoo that says Sholmes?
I must say, while such adoration is flattering, naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave! Now! How distressing! My loyal devotee knows me only by name and not by appearance. And yet, I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world, aboard a steamship, in fact.
He said the bullet Saint. Oh!
Oh.
How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikatoba.
I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard the ship, you see. We're looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name Jigoku.
There is no one with that name on board.
But we know he purchased a ticket for passage.
Ah, you mean it's Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk, he said something about emergency, I think.
What? Are you sure? So Seshu has realized that we're after him, has he?
His cabin his cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No! I have orders not to leave even a mouse inside! Mikatoba, be a good man to draw the sailor's attention away, would you? Make us some excuse so that he leaves the area. Does a great detective see that even sailors have ears, both left and right? Curses! The planet's ruined!
And you only have yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes.
Curses! The planet's ruined!
Fuck!
You heard me! They use their ears! Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside! Mikatoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you?
Opening any lock?
Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to inform me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner.
How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, my old friend? So I need to distract this burly man for 5 seconds, do I?
Good man. So, the game is afoot.
Years of planning on getting Pat to voice this guy has led to this.
Wait, years of planning? It's been like what?
A year.
A year, okay, yeah.
1 year of planning has led to this.
Oh, look, cheese.
Okay. It shows like me being able to go right, so I just wanted to check that one out. This must be a mousetrap, I think. Perhaps I could distract this crewman's attention with this somehow.
That sounds like Big Mouse into that. I would have been bucket of water later and put out of misery.
I don't like the sound of that.
In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound.
Oh really, Sholmes? Pray tell, what does a Russian mice make?
Pee. Naturally. Though also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. So go ahead, Mikatoba. Do a pee this time.
No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution.
Ouch.
That's a speaking tube for members of the crew to communicate with another around the ship. If I could just persuade our stocky sailor friend that he needed to use it, Mr. Sholmes could unlock the door while distracted. The question is, how? Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing.
Ugh, what is happening? Where is light?
Now, Sholmes, now!
Oh dear.
Nobody there.
That was a close shave.
Quite a neck you have, stumbling so violently into apparently empty corridor.
Do be quiet, Sholmes. I have to think of another approach. This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. Here goes then. Pardon me in advance.
Yuru, what are you doing? If we are at sea, this would be very bad problem.
What's going on down there? Seaman Strongov, report at once!
Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me. By one famous... No, as I told you.
Now, Jones, now!
Done.
Not even 5 seconds, eh?
Well, don't stand there gawking at my brilliance, Mikatoma. In we go.
Oh, yes! Whoa, transition.
Hey,
And more reused models.
we're on a budget.
Good gracious!
It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly.
Those clothes on the floor there. They're Seshiro's, no question.
Well, it seems we're just a little too late.
Yes, by about 2 hours.
Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here.
But that burly crewman may return at any moment, Jones.
Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling.
There's a speaking tube there, look, though it's been stopped with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose.
Oh indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere.
Could something have happened in here that for no one else's ears, do you think?
Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering.
That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it?
Quite the exquisite glass, I must say.
Is something wrong, Shums? You suddenly trailed off.
Ice, Mikatoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoy? Chilled drinks.
Pardon?
Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electronically refrigerated cold room, do you think?
Well, it is a luxury liner after all. They have an enormous refrigerator for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world.
Suddenly, Mikatoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water.
I haven't taken the flavor of food I ate, you know.
No.
It's a waste paper basket, look, and there's still rubbish inside.
Indeed? Then let us pry. I discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets.
I sincerely hope only for your work.
Ah. Here we have a notice issued to the passengers from 3 days ago.
3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London, then. When I was still aboard myself. Following the departure from them, all crew members required to assemble on the main This evacuation trail. I remember it now. For our safety and security, all first passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes or in travel cases. Whoa, fuck! God, that scared the hell out of me! Oh my god!
Oh no, so call me Johnny raided us!
God, God!
Over 300 people!
God, fuck! Well, hi guys! I guess you enjoyed Sonic Hacking Contest, but I appreciate the raid. However, just to let you know now, we are in the final case of the Great Ace Attorney 2 right now, so if you have any intention of playing this game, we are, like, neck-deep in spoiler territory, so I appreciate it. Follow for more streams and stuff like that, join our Discord and stuff like that by doing the !mark Discord and join that. But if you are interested in playing...
400 views! Ah!
Yeah, but if you are interested in playing this game now, I would suggest leaving now, kind of deal. But I thank you very much for the raid, and I'll put in the Discord real fast so you guys can join that, because this is probably gonna go up for a little bit.
Real quick, explain that hashtag.
Oh,
Rosie Pop.
yeah,
Oh, dear.
yeah. What's Rosie for that? I'm curious. Oh my god, it just keeps going.
Inquiring minds want to know.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a bit. Again, I very much thank you for the raid, but we missed the time apparently, so...
That doesn't tell me anything, Alexandra!
Just gonna put the Discord link in there again.
It must Sonic CD related. Oh dear.
Oh, okay.
Amy Rose popped a guy in one of the
Oh my!
The pop goes the weasel.
But yeah, I guess while there's other people in here, I do have a YouTube channel that you can go check out. Right? Oh wait, no. YouTube?
I'm concerned. What?
Yeah. Okay, right there. Oh, it's not, is it? Okay. Oh boy. But yeah, go check out my YouTube channel and stuff like that. I very much appreciate it. Alright, so after that raid, last warning, we will be continuing on with story in
10-second buffer,
yeah,
you've been
10,
warned.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, continuing on.
I feel the rules have increased since I last read them.
You
Probably
don't
just my
say.
imagination.
What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you?
You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. And you know what I always say, Bigotoma. There is nothing important about trifles.
It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. I am thankful that he did not stream when Kazuma was on screen, otherwise that would... I forgot to tell Johnny to possibly not raid me because I was worrying about that shit kind of deal, and I forgot, but...
It was just a Hurlock, a very
it was Hurlock. It was fine. It was fine. Kind of deal. According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asoki's wardrobe.
It was very gay.
Very strange that was.
I hear they played Uno a lot while in that.
Only one reverse card, though.
I keep seeing fan art of that goddamn closet and that trunk.
Oh, probably not very wholesome or assuming on that.
Indeed, he was, and it was of a similar size of this to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow.
What? Whatever for?
It was the site of my first fatal meeting with Mr. Naruhodo.
To be gay, of
You
course.
can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, here you go. This will only take a moment.
Really, Shulb? Surely you could just tell me what you said.
Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer.
I think I'll just read about it in the Avengers of Herlock Sholmes.
Herlock be like, you're no fun. Ah.
I'm a grown man now, Mr. Sholmes.
Aw.
I have a daughter, possibly two, right now.
And a very sizable trunk indeed.
Seshiro is partial to all things large, and a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to
And a
notice
rather-
the... Oh, sorry.
And a rather... Bigatoba, I appreciate it, but please, allow me. A rather clumsy fellow, if he failed to notice he left that behind.
Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you may think, but it's still a hindrance to a speedy escape.
Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside.
Surely 5 seconds from the situation will be quite different, though.
Sadly not. It has a 7-digit combination lock. I'm not in a moist enough mood to work through all the combinations at present.
Yeah.
That's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. An overcoat, shirt, a dressing gown.
A moki work trousers, a tanzan robe, a hamaki, waistband. Clearly the clothing is of a Japanese man.
And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe.
It looks to me as if we've been thrown onto a heap of something of a hurry.
Indeed. You can help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you may mention the packing too few.
I'd very likely drown in one of Seshiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think.
But that's needlessly expensive. It's like an expensive purchase.
Plenty of reading material to keep passengers occupied on long siege voyages. I found a mixture of classic literature and easy reading for the most satisfactory, I must say.
Whoever stocked this bookshelf was a hopeless heretic. That's no copy of the original of Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellows.
I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible.
I shall leave her coming behind. I just happen to have her with me.
You're a true missionary of the Church of the Great Detectives, aren't you?
I wonder what young Bigatova had to deal with.
A lot of bullshit from him. A
And
lot.
and you can read about them in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, god damn it! The wall is slightly different color just here, do you see?
Indeed. What you have observed arises when a frame that had been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief.
Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure.
He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing Francis galleries of late.
Oh, prankster did like investigations game with these two? I'd be down for that.
I would so be down. I would be down for that.
I think perhaps we should move our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you?
Okay, correction. I, as an Ace Attorney fan, would be down for that. But the estate that owns the character would be so against that.
That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something similar shape and size elsewhere.
Pat, read the chat.
God fucking damn it, Mr. Shums, where the fuck are we?
Yes!
And clip, there you go.
You are still here?
Helby Seaman Strongdov, hello again.
Excuse me. I was beginning to think you never materialized. Eh? You are waiting for me? Of course, I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Goethe because of Tunic you played before.
Poor innocent Tikkun.
It is all your fault. Ship is leaving the port soon. Get off now. Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and bearing the truth.
Kakoi?
What?
Kakoi? That word.
Ah, what?
Yeah, that.
All that, and then some. I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all. Ah! And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you? How can you?
Good gracious, Jones, you mean you've worked it out? All of it?
It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance? By immutable logic and reasoning.
Oh. Oh boy. Nothing would please me more.
What is this? We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. Here we go! Time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. That is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What?
Ah, yes, of course.
I see you noticed it too, Bigatoba. Then please, do take the lead. What in this cabin showed the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills there, Bigatoba.
It's been 10 years since we last did this, Mr. Sholmes, not 3.
Why, of course it has. Quite. Now, all the clues are here in this cabin for our eyes to see. Quick question.
Yeah?
Was there a 3-year gap between DGS 1 and 2? Like, as far as, like, release date?
Okay, so...
Oh.
Alright.
I know it's been, like, at least a year or 2. I don't know, 3.
But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe, and the answers become clear. So, impress me!
I think I can manage that. And the cabin shows the impossibility and embark to,
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, okay. The impossibility? his club? Contradicts the
Oh, I remember the answer.
Is it the passport inside the wastebasket? Is that it?
What indicates that someone might not have left or what?
Oh.
Take that!
What the
Hey!
fuck? Oh my god, this is amazing. Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass!
How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. It would appear that the mail was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand,
Get your mind out of the refreshments, Mr. Sholmes.
one might even conclude that somebody of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff?
But why would Seshiro run from us?
Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Would I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Groose are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage for Japan?
That's right, they were. I was in the cabin next door and Seshiro was, yes. 50 days in this cabin during our voyage.
As I suspected. For you see, there are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide.
What traces?
Letting you know in advance, Pat, once this whole section is done, I'm gonna have to take off.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. I know nothing about this. This is news to you, isn't it, Mr. Stroganoff?
So Sholmes, what are you exactly getting at?
As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice.
Something out of place in here. That's the key to this, Mikitoba. Oh, sorry. Blah, blah, blah.
That's the key to this, Mikitoba. The remnants of the dark dark deed that. Oh, okay. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikitoba.
No, quite, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can uncover the truth here.
Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow.
Okay, which one exactly for Markham? I feel like it'd be Markham, more
But
than
what's
that.
hiding it?
Yeah.
Take that!
Let's go.
I love the dance so
It's
much.
so good. It's the rules of passage. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place.
Look at his pose. Just like, what a chat.
Nailed
What a
it.
dad.
The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry.
Yes, yes, and I'm sure you've already concluded. Well, all the main characters not in?
What?
Is that what you're asking?
Why are all the main characters...
Hot?
I don't think I get the cover. You might need to retype that one. I don't get what you're saying on that. Oh, in this game. Okay.
Why are all the main characters hot in this game?
Okay.
Okay, now I get it. And
Okay,
the
now I
answer
get it. Alright.
is because hot is cool. That frame was originally over there. The shape and size are a perfect match. You are right. When did frame move? Hardly the most observant crewman, are you, Mr. Stroganoff?
Yes, Halos.
I I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability.
Oh dear, that really seems to touch a nerve.
So, Bigatoba, why don't you let that frame off the wall?
That looks like a bullet hole.
What? Who has been shooting walls? I see. The projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff, I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Easter stranger? So we're talking about the same man, I see. Good.
Got it.
Got him.
Oh, teleportation, yeah!
Stuffing it up.
I'm sure we could get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Look at that. Look at that shot. Because there's some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense, as clearly shown by...
I really don't know how you approach this one, Mr. Sholmes.
My dear Bigatoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Just study your subject from every angle. And I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it.
So I'm to glare at this fellow at all sides? Well, I can certainly do that. What?
Just, he's looking intently, eyes popping.
I think Apollo doing it is funnier, but this
Damn. I see
Be
you.
intimidated by my river dance. It's almost too obvious for words.
Quite the universal language of the world. Money.
And I wager that Eastern fellow in question is Seshiro Guguku. Seshiro Jiguku. Am I right?
Goku.
Jigoku. So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice.
But...
Just,
Hey,
Yeah, thank you for the follow. Huh?
yeah.
I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Bigatoba, in matters of deduction, defer to glance at your unfaltering ally.
Yes, I think you're onto something, Mr. Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor.
We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a minute delayed blink, that escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceivable.
You could hardly call this perceivable, Sholmes. The man turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious.
We shall let your tapping toe decide, my dear fellows. Are you fully aware of it?
Take that!
Skippity-bop, ding-dong, you're wrong. You've turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? The truth is, Seshiro Jigoku is unable to escape the ship at the time, and is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk.
Ouch.
If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it will be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible.
But how could we? Are you forgetting about the combination lock? Surely we don't know the 7-digit code.
The combination lock can't be opened from inside the trunk. Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure.
Of course.
In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. And I'm sure you can confirm, Mr. Stroganoff. No, I know nothing about combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Slow motion turn, like, yeah, right there. Now, Pikatoba, will you do the honors and open the trunk?
But how on earth do you expect me?
It's a 7-digit number, remember. Quickly now, we have little time.
I think you can go back, yeah.
Okay, show. What are they? Okay, 5 digits on there.
I think it's upside down.
Okay, okay, 5, 3, 5, 3, okay, 5, 3, 1, 4, 5. I think that's what it is. 5, 3. Oh wait. Hold on. 5.
That looks
5, 2. Okay.
yeah.
5, 2, 3, 1, 0. 1, 0, 4, 5. Yeah.
Take that!
Wait, what? No, it's refusing to open.
Tell me, what number did you use?
Well, to begin with, I thought I'd try my birthday.
Your birthday? Interesting. Since as of today, with that absurd guesswork, you're dead to me.
As measured as ever response, Mr. Sholmes. I forgot the 5? What?
Oh, you put in a 4.
Yeah, you put a 4 at the very beginning.
Take that!
We got that hilarious response though. You're dead to me.
That did it. It's open. You had to meddle, didn't you? How did I put myself in here? Well, Eugen, you found me now. Seshiro.
That's a tight squeeze.
Yeah, are you contortionist or something?
I think what makes this funny and also a neat thing is the fact that I think in the first game, either the first game or this game, they called back. They always said I was over there joking about putting Naohoro in the trunk. He said, "No, I wouldn't fit."
Mm-hmm.
And here it is, the largest man we can think of, and he can fit in there.
I was hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know. But you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wished it was some other way.
Well, are you ever going to introduce me?
Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read your stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manner, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion.
The devil is in the details, Pikatoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. He made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour.
I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seshiro, are you going to explain all of this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night of our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, I've heard since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind. And I have no idea at the time what dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived here in London to find this was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might be very well targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I already ought to confide in you.
It's somewhat surprising, I must say.
What is?
Well, first-class cabin aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available.
So says the protagonist of some colorful stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion.
I made your stories, Sherlock, later. They're all made up.
The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket and here I am. I've seen it for myself, the obvious remains of the incident in the cabin. So you've already purchased a return ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else from taking the cabin and seeing your evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you.
Well, it'll be 5 minutes. The ship was set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once.
You have no jurisdiction over my movements. We have this, Cicero. Take it. What is this? It's a subplea from the Old Bailey. You're a man of the law. You know what the ramifications of ignoring a document like this in the British courts would be. You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go.
One moment.
What is it, Sholmes?
It's Mr. Jikoku's trunk. I found this rather fascinating trinket.
What is that, Cicero? Oh, sorry, what is that, Cicero? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component of something. But what? I have no idea. By the look on his face, I think he genuinely doesn't know.
Well, let us pocket it as a small souvenir of our brief of a base soldier to France.
Souvenir, huh?
Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on your shoulders of you and your assistant.
Alright, and with that, I will have to head off. Patrick, unfortunately, I'll leave you with a lot of talking.
Oh, boy. Okay. Alright.
No, because there are because now with you are now 5 characters in this scene now, I think.
Thankfully, we're wrapping it up soon.
Okay. Alright. Kazuma
Sorry, but work calls.
Yeah, no problem. I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie.
See you tomorrow.
Still, see ya. There's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. During the past... Sorry.
At least he won't be pissy.
During the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jijoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict.
Objection!
No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all the relevant testimony. And there can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty! And all relevant testimony? Far from it. There's still one critical witness from who this court has yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible.
Witness is already on his way, and scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Who on earth is this critical witness? Seshiro Jigoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper! Judge Jigoku, you found him?! But the investigations of every policing resource in this capital suggest that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find that man? He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Jigoku on the night of his death. Because of Prosecutor Sogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate that man. Which means that Seshiro Jigoku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grus on October 31st. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. The prosecution concurs the court must hear Jigoku's testimony. No judgment should be passed until the testimony has been considered. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side? No, my lord! No objections, my lord. Live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth.
Oh boy!
Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright, so that was part 1 at this point, so we are a third of the way through at this point.
We are technically reaching a 3-day trial.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, so we are going to be back tomorrow night, hopefully at 6, if not 7. You know, I'll put in the whatchamacallit, you know, the notice for that if need be. But we will go raid let's go raid Dan. Right now he's doing some Castlevania, so
Chad dancing.
yeah. Alright. So then yeah, all of these are uploaded onto YouTube for the whatchamacallit on my archive channel. So you can check them out there at that point. Right, that's WiiDude streams on YouTube. No, we're not gonna raid with the same hashtag. Just raid with tap dance, I think.
Tap dance.
Tap dance. Do that. Yeah, I think archive. I think this might be the. What is my tag for? Is that YouTube tag not working? Hold on. Then let me just grab the YouTube link for you real quick. Good sir, so you can go check those out. You can go right there. There, that's to the archive channel, at least on that. But, yeah. So, have a good night, everyone!
Cheerios.